Yo, what is up guys? Nick here helping you to master your technology, and welcome to my S8 versus S10 comparison. Now, I'm not going to do a speed test quite yet because I'm waiting on the One UI, or else I don't think it's really fair, as the One UI seems a little snappier, a little smoother here for the Galaxy S10. But I want to talk about my experience with both of these and if I really think that going from an S8 right now to the S10 is a worthy upgrade. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about is design. And I actually like the way the S8 looks in the hand, or feels in the hand, a little bit better than that of the S10, to be honest with you. And that's because this one's a little more square and asymmetrical, whereas the Galaxy S8 is just curvy beauty. So I just really do like the way the S8 looks from the front. Now, I do like how the screen goes all the way to the top of the S10, but still this is like a little squarish compared to the more curvy S8. So to me, the S8 still looks a little bit better from the front, even though it doesn't have a bezel that goes all the way to the top. Now, if this had a bezel that went all the way to the top with the same curve and the same narrow feel on the S8, this would be like the perfect smartphone right here. But they went ahead and made it a little more square here, which is kind of more similar feeling to like a Note device. Now on the rear, I didn't really like the fingerprint sensor placement of the S8 as well. So this area, I do think the S10 looks better on the back of the device here. In terms of weight, 155 grams for the S8, so pretty light phone. The Galaxy S10, 157 grams. So if you had an S8, you come to an S10, the weight is about the same. So you're not going to feel any difference really in the weight. And the way they feel in the hand is about the same as well. They have like aluminum sides, glass back and front. The feel in hand, build quality is almost identical. They feel like not different really at all, besides the fact you get a little more square here, a little more curvy here on the S8. Both do support IP68 dust and water resistance, making them super durable when it comes to the everyday elements of life as well. So it's more just an aesthetic thing, like kind of how it looks. Like, do you like the look of the S10? Because the build quality and things like that, they're about the same on both. Okay, so when it comes to the displays on these two, you have a Super AMOLED on the left and you have a dynamic AMOLED on the right. Now the Super AMOLED display is really colorful and vibrant, as is the dynamic AMOLED display. So to general consumers just looking at these in public are not really going to be able to see the difference at all. People who are into tech and they pay attention to color accuracy, stuff like that, technically the superior display is the Galaxy S10. But Samsung's been doing displays so good for so long that this is not a huge upgrade. So coming from the S8 to the display on the Galaxy S10 is not a huge upgrade in quality, maybe technically speaking, but what you're actually looking at, I don't think you're gonna notice too much of a difference. Now, what you will notice where it's a big upgrade is how far those bezels do go down. So they're a lot thinner here for the Galaxy S10, and that's very noticeable. So if you wanted more of a close to an all-screen design, the Galaxy S10 has felt like a nice upgrade. But screen quality, while it is more natural and better than the S8, again, general everyday using it, you're not even going to pay attention to these things. They both look fantastic. So let's talk about software. Has it been a huge upgrade in terms of software? And well, because the S8, mine is not on Android 9 Pie yet. It's on lock model, gets it last. We barely just got it on the Note 9, so it's going to be a few more days, maybe a few more weeks before I get it here on the S8. But coming over here to the One UI on the Galaxy S10 is super smooth. It's a cleaner looking software, and I just like it better overall than the older Android Oreo. So I can't wait to get it for the Galaxy S8. But coming over to this phone, like, are you upgrading in terms of software? No, not really. Both phones have a ton of good software here. They both have one-handed modes. They both have features everywhere. Got the wireless power sharing here for the Galaxy S10, which is a new nice upgrade. That's something you don't get for the S8. So I can place this here and just start charging the device right there, like so. You can see it's charging. You couldn't do that on the Galaxy S8, and there's a couple other enhancements on this device, but overall both of them are still very feature packed. So coming here to the Galaxy S10 is more of a hardware upgrade than a huge software upgrade. You have things like the night mode without having to put a skin on the device. You can do that in the theme store. You can get a night kind of mode on the S8 if you just put a theme on it, but you can do it right from the software itself now on the Galaxy S10. Now, one thing that is different is the multitasking. With the old 8.0, I actually really liked how I could just flip things around really easy. I hope Samsung brings this back, because this is really not cool that they got rid of this cool feature. So if we go here to open in split screen, so split screen over here on the Galaxy S10, let's open up calculator, and you can see I can't flip it around at all. So like I could do this, but it's kind of like the stock version. Now they both do have pop view, but again, the way pop view works on here is a little bit different on the S10 than it was on the S8. So on the S8, you just grab the app and pop it. Now to me, that's very intuitive. Over here, you got to click the settings, then you got to go over here and do the pop view. Now, one thing that is different on the software over here is that you can make this transparent. So that's a nice new touch. You couldn't do that for the S8. So that's a new thing as well. So multitasking is a little bit different. I think a mashup of the way it worked on the S8 and the new S10 would be perfect, but Samsung needs to bring an update to bring some of those nice features we had on the S8 back. Overall, the software is really loaded with the features. We could be here all day talking about everything it does, but we're not gonna waste no more time. If you're upgrading from the S8 to the S10 and you loved your Samsung software, you're gonna love it here for this new device. Now, one of the new enhancements is that you do get a bigger base storage. So the base storage for the Galaxy S8 wasn't bad at 64, but now you go up to 128 gigabytes at the base storage for both of these devices. So for the S10, it's a better value in terms of, you know, how much storage you're gonna get out of the gate. But at the same time, I believe the S8 was a little cheaper than the S10 at the starting price point. So you're paying more, but you are getting more storage, which is a nice thing here for the Galaxy S10. The way you do unlock these phones are a little bit different. I'm gonna go to security. Let's go over here to lock screen and security. You had the iris scanner for the Galaxy S8, and I really like that. That actually gets axed here for the Galaxy S10. And now you just have this unsecure face unlock, but you do have the in-display fingerprint sensor, which is a much better location than the fingerprint sensor on the rear of the Galaxy S8. Now, the Galaxy S8 didn't have the most fast fingerprint sensor either, so you know, having it in the display is much more convenient for the S10. So that's a nice upgrade, but you do lose your iris scanner. So if you liked face unlocking, the S8 is actually more secure to unlock with your face than the Galaxy S10. Talking about battery life here, the Galaxy S10 actually has a 3400 milliamp hour battery versus the 3000 in the Galaxy S8. And if you remember correctly, when the S8 came out, it was around that time where Samsung had that issue with the, you know, Note 7 explosion thing. So they were trying to get things back on track, and they weren't putting huge batteries in their phones. So the S8 did suffer from this because it didn't have the best battery life I've ever seen. Was it able to get through a day with medium use? Absolutely. Were you able to push it heavily and get through the day? No, not really, not with the S8. So over here on the S10, I'm able to push it a little bit further. I'm getting about an hour and a half to 2 hours better battery life than that of the S8. Now, is that substantial? Yeah, I think it is. So if you're coming from the S8 to the S10, you will notice an upgrade in your overall battery life. It's not huge, but it's enough to say it's an upgrade. If you want to know about standby time, I'm also seeing better standby on One UI, at least 3 to 4% less drain overnight than the S8. So let's talk about cameras. You have a single camera here for the Galaxy S8, and it was always easy and simple to use and just fun to use. It was just a good camera. Overall, dual pixel AF, shot decent photos, not too complex. You had a few modes in here. You could do 4K at up to 30 frames per second. You had tracking autofocus, plenty of features going on. The front-facing camera was pretty soft, so I didn't really like it too much here for the Galaxy S8, but still it was fine. It worked, it got the job done. So the camera on the S8 is just your basic single camera on the rear and in the front. Overall, I think you'll be fine with that camera, but are you upgrading to the Galaxy S10? You're gonna get a massive upgrade in camera. In this department, the S10 is just all day better than this phone. It has variable aperture, better low light performance, wide angle shooting on this camera. You can telephoto zoom, so it's like a plus model, but on the standard model. You have full screen modes. You had that on the S8 as well. Different software, live focusing abilities, 4K 60 frames. I mean, you name it. This thing has got it all. You can do portrait mode photos and everything. So this one, just really, it's over the top when it comes to the camera department, and I've really been enjoying it. The front facing camera is also a better 10 megapixel 4K shooter. If you go from the S8 to the Galaxy S10, the biggest upgrade that you will notice is, after the hardware, like how it looks, is the camera. Yes, there's no comparison. I mean, doing a camera comparison between these would just show a massive defeat for the Galaxy S10 over the S8. And that's mostly because of its variety of cameras and also that it's like 2 generations newer. So yes, if you're gonna upgrade from the S8 to the S10 for camera, definitely do it. You'll be very happy with that upgrade. So audio performance is another area where the S8 gets demolished by the S10. So you do have a single speaker here, headphone jack, and happily Samsung has not axed the headphone jack here for you. So if you had an S8, you come to your S10, you're still keeping your headphone jack speaker in about the same place, but there's one integrated up here at the top, and it also has Dolby Atmos on here, which you can change the way you listen to music as well. Bluetooth 5.0 on board, everything connects super fast. You can get the Galaxy Buds. Galaxy Buds will work with the S8 just fine as well, but I'm just saying, the Galaxy S10, just a massive upgrade in audio. It just sounds so much better on the external speakers. Now when it comes to, plugging a headphone jack in, they both work similarly well, but I would give it to the S10 by far for audio. I don't have much to say about phone call quality. They both have been excellent, no problems with either of them. I would just say that the phone call speaker just sounds better on the S10. Also, you get better battery life, so you can talk longer if you do a lot of phone calling. So it's a little bit better on the S10, but nothing to be like, oh, let me go upgrade from my S8 to S10 just for better phone call quality. They both have Qualcomm modems. They both have good reception. They're just fine in this regard. So at the end of the day, is the Galaxy S8 something you should upgrade to the Galaxy S10? And I think it's time if you are in need of a new phone. If you're not, I think you'll be fine with the S8 for at least another year, maybe even 2. It's actually going to get the One UI, so that keeps it up to date. And it's still really good hardware here in the Galaxy S8. A lot of budget phones these days still aren't as nice as this device. The design is just gorgeous on the S8, but the S10 does offer enough hardware upgrades to make you at least maybe want to think about upgrading. But I think a bigger upgrade, if you're willing to go up to a bigger screen, would be to wait for the Note 10 series and try out a Note series. If you had an S8 for a while, that would be a huge upgrade difference versus this, which feels very similar to the S8. Phones are just getting to a point where you can just keep them longer now. The S8's a good example of this. This thing's from 2017 and it still fits in perfectly in 2019. It doesn't look outdated at all. But what are your thoughts? Do you have a Galaxy S8? Did you upgrade to an S10? Are you thinking about doing this upgrade? Any questions, comments, concerns, drop them down below. Thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. Nick here helping you to master your technology. Be sure to be well, and peace.